Welcome to the Home Show, where we discuss all things Home Magazine on WLNI. Looking for design inspiration, delicious fare, home improvement tips, or hospitality ideas? All from local experts? You've come to the right place. The Home Show is presented by Piedmont Floor Show. Take your next step with them. Find them online at PiedmontFloorShow.com. Now, make yourself at home. Here are your hosts.
Hello and welcome to the Home Show. My name is Trish Roth, publisher of Home Magazine, joined by Rich and Ashley Scammerhorn, our producer. Good morning, everyone.
Good morning. Happy Saturday.
Happy Saturday. I hope everyone's having a wonderful weekend so far and staying cool.
I know I am. Wonderful weekend.
It is a wonderful weekend.
Much needed weekend.
Yes. Yeah, we've had a busy summer. It's like summer's flying by, it seems like. So, I don't know. We've got 2 kids going off to college this fall, kind of soaking all that up.
Yeah, I'm seeing a lot of like back to school specials
Yeah,
already happening. I'm like,
right.
are we really there again?
Well,
Yeah.
you know what a big part of that is? The tariffs that come in August 1st. So people are trying to make sure that, prices don't get jacked up and there may be sales and different things like that. So, you'd think maybe folks learned their lesson the first go around where it turned out to be much ado about nothing, but you never know. And there's nothing wrong with, preparing ahead of time. I'm a big believer in that.
We stimulate the economy by fear mongering.
No,
But this is not the show for
It's
that.
just called being organized and preparing ahead of time. And like I said,
Rich is the expert at that.
thank you.
Yeah, he keeps the trains running around here from the organizational standpoint.
Right.
Trish and I don't at all.
No. Thank goodness for Rich.
Yay, homeboy.
Wow, is that on the record?
Are we
I'm sure
recording?
it is now.
Is that-
Yeah, I'm
is
sure
that
it
on
is
the record?
now. Oh. Well, we've got a great show lined up for you today. We will be joined by Billy Morris, the president of the Lynchburg Association of Realtors, and he's going to talk to us about kind of the housing market. And we've got a wonderful article in the summer issue about moving and just, 10 tips, to give you as you're moving or selling. So I know he will have a lot of great information for us. And then we also have Aine Aylward with Piedmont Floor Show for an extended edition of Your Next Step. And Aine is interior designer at Piedmont Floor Show. So we'll be talking with her as well. And anything else that we need to talk about today?
I mean, yeah, they have grown exponentially this year. Piedmont
Yes.
Floor Show has with the constructions and renovations and cabinets and we can't keep up, so we've got to bring them in here every month to remind everybody what you got going on this month.
Right.
And they have her as an interior designer, which is wonderful.
And it'll be fun to talk with Billy too. I mean, you talked about moving and, different tips there, but, the benefits of having a realtor. Because I know, and understandably so, people are looking to save money wherever they can. Is a realtor really necessary? We'll find out, what are some of the advantages of having a realtor versus not, and, how you pick a realtor, right? I mean, I look forward to asking Billy about that a little bit later on too, because there are a ton of them out there. I don't know how many there are, but we'll maybe find out later. And, but so many realtors, which one's the right one for you?
Right.
Maybe some
And that
tips.
is really important, finding one that you can mesh with really well. We've had 2 realtors. Like, we've bought 2 houses and we had a different realtor each time. And I don't really know why that is. But, both of them were wonderful. And it is. I mean, it's important to have that great relationship with your realtor because it's a stressful but kind of fun time too. So, yeah. So we are going to just take a quick break here. And we'll be back with more of the Home Show in just a few moments.
For more design tips and ideas for your home, follow us on Facebook and Instagram at Home Magazine VA. You're listening to The Home Show on WLNI, presented by Piedmont Floor Show. Grab your free copy of Home Magazine at a location near you. Learn more at homemagazineva.com.
Welcome back to the Home Show. I am Trish Roth, publisher of Home Magazine, here with Rich and Ashley, our producer. And one of the great articles that we have in the summer issue is called Smooth Moves, and it offers 10 tips for successful house hopping. And in studio today, we have Billy Morris, who is an associate broker with John Stewart Walker, and he is also the president of the Lynchburg Association of Realtors. So great to have you back. We had you on kind of at the beginning of the year, and nice to see you again.
Well, thank you. Thanks for having me back.
Yeah. So first off, just remind everybody what the Lynchburg Association of Realtors is all about.
So we are the organization. So if you have a realtor or know a realtor in this area, they are a part of the Lynchburg Association of Realtors. So we have over 950 agents in our market. So our market covers Lynchburg, Bedford Campbell, Amherst, parts of a little bit into Nelson, parts of Appomattox. So we're going down to the lake now, Smith Mountain Lake. So kind of this region is all the realtors are part of our association.
So you're a great resource for area realtors.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
We
wonderful.
are the resource.
Right, right. So kind of going back to our article, let's just start off with this question. What are your tips for a successful move in or move out?
Use a wonderful realtor. So I think that's part of the process is like if you think about making the biggest financial decision of your life, especially like once you start diving into the details, it can be overwhelming, it can be stressful, and so having a professional there that does this every day, that knows what they're doing, that can kind of steer you to avoid pitfalls, to kind of make things as efficient as possible, is my number one suggestion: is use a professional.
Billy, let me get you to follow up and maybe elaborate on that a little bit if you don't, in terms of, some specific instances where having a realtor helps, because I know there are people out there go, oh, I could do it myself. I can save the couple percent or whatever that the that the commission winds up being, and that adds up for sure. But I mean, you talk about the pitfalls. What are a couple of examples that someone might run into unknowingly where a realtor could help steer them in the right direction, maybe even away from purchasing a specific house that might not be the best fit? Yeah.
So in focusing on buyers per se, what is the market value of that house? So it may be listed at $300,000. And that's a good idea. It's a good number. But a realtor is going to be able to dive into those numbers. They're going to look at a fair market value of it and say, you know what, it's listed at this, but it's really the value is probably closer to this. These sellers are, have pipe dreams, or the opposite. It could say like, hey, this is a great deal. It's going to go fast. Try to get this as soon as possible. They're going to be looking at the physical nature of the house. So you're going to have a home inspection, but you're also looking to see, before you even put in an offer on this, like, here's some things you want to think about. We're not home inspectors. We're not contractors. Some of us are, but most of us are not contractors. But we've seen enough houses to know what to look for as far as, hey, look at this crack, or think about the electrical hasn't been updated in a long time, or the plumbing's still original. So, at this price point, you're going to have to think about down the road replacing, the old HVAC or the old hot water heater or something. So things that most buyers, when they walk in, they, kind of get blinded by all the great things and don't look at all the details necessarily the first time. So that's one of the pitfalls, is getting a house and then having thousands and thousands of dollars the first year of repairs that you wish you had paid attention to before.
Yeah, I know when we bought our last house, one of the great tips that our realtor gave us was she negotiated into the contract a home warranty, just to protect against some of the things of, hey, the HVAC unit's like 15 years old, that, just so even little things like that I know we never would have thought of, and that turned out to be invaluable for us.
Yeah. And with a realtor, what the rules are and the laws. And so, having a termite inspection, or, different inspections, different disclosures that somebody that's just going alone might not know to do. And so, those are there for a reason, because in the past, someone or groups of people, were harmed by not having these disclosures or having these inspections done. And so, when you buy a house or when you move in, that it's going to be, a good choice, a good decision, and a solid investment.
I think too, with first-time home buyers, you're so excited, and I think it's easy to be like looking at the rooms versus the structure of the home. So it's great that you all have been trained and you know of those dangers and pitfalls, because they can be super expensive and make your monthly payment a little bit more than what you might have expected. We are speaking with Billy Morris with the Lynchburg Association of Realtors, and let's just kind of jump in for a housing market update. How is it looking today, and how has it changed in the last year or so?
Yeah, so we are coming out of the craziest sellers market I've ever experienced. So COVID, low interest rates, low inventory brought this really strong sellers market. We are out of the woods of that and definitely heading towards a balanced market, and even in some price points getting pretty close to a balanced market. So if you bought a house during COVID and you remember the stress of that and having to make an offer within the first 5 seconds of seeing the house, that is hopefully a thing of the past. Our days on market are getting a little bit longer, so you have some breathing room, and so buyers are appreciative of that, but sellers are still getting pretty good values for their homes. So we're hitting that kind of sweet spot. And if this trajectory continues, let's say within like 6 months, we should be at a fairly balanced market, which is a good thing and a healthy thing.
What would that be? What number would that be? And I assume when you're talking about a balanced market, it's a certain number of days on the market where it's kind of fair for both buyers and sellers. Is that accurate? Or
absolutely, yeah. So traditionally, like a 6 months of worth of inventory would be considered like a balanced market. That doesn't necessarily translate to 180 days on market, but somewhere in right now we're probably at like 37 days on market, closer to like 45, 55 days on market. It should be pretty balanced, pretty healthy. And
when you say 6 months of inventory, what?
I can get into the math.
Well, no, I mean, I'm just kind of curious. Like, without getting into the math.
So basically, like, if there's a very specific price point, neighborhood, category of home that you're looking for, and there's 6 of those options, and you look back at how much is sold in that same aspect. So let's say 2 houses every month sell in that category, and there's 6 on the market right now. You've got 3 months worth of supply. In there.
Okay.
So,
all right. Yeah, that's helpful.
Yeah.
So for first-time home buyers, what are some of the very first steps they should take before they even look at a house?
Yeah. So the first thing you're going to want to do is you're going to meet with a lender. So you got to get that magical piece of paper that says you are pre-approved or pre-qualified for a lender to give you some money, unless you've got like $300,000 in your checking account that you want to buy a house with. Most of us need to use a lender to bring extra cash to the table to cover usually 80-90% of the mortgage or of the total purchase price.
Is one preferable over the other, pre-approved or pre-qualified?
So, it's somewhat of a semantics, but right now pre-approval is a stronger because they've looked at your numbers, they've looked at your credit history, they've pulled reports and stuff, versus a pre-approval. They're just kind of taking your word for it. So most people like to see the pre-approval letter, especially once you get into making the offer, that that lender's done their due diligence. They'll obviously do it after the fact, but ahead of the time, so that deal is going to go through. So that letter's the first thing you want to know, because you want to know your buying power. Lenders will look at not just your income to debt. Some income counts, some doesn't. Some debt counts, some doesn't. So they've kind of got a magic formula to figure out how much buying power you have. And then once you have that number, then you can go out and look, just so that you're looking kind of in the accurate price point.
Mm-hmm. And I know we've purchased a couple of homes, and what you are approved for can be quite a range. Do you have a recommendation on kind of where you should stay?
No, I mean, it's a personal preference. I
Yeah.
mean, I think, historically they say, a third of your income go into housing, but for some people, they may not be comfortable with that. And so you see that number and you think, okay, well, I'm paying more than that in rent, or, I don't really want to pay that much. So it's definitely a personal preference. But I think, the old school thought is about a third of your income go into your housing needs.
And I think to Trisha's point, sometimes you're sitting there going, oh my God, I'm approved for that much. I can never afford that. Why do they give you the approval to go probably way over, what you should go?
I had no idea. No. I don't know.
But be careful, right? Be careful.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's an easy trap to get into because then you're like, oh, let me just look at houses up here. And then you're just like, oh,
Yeah.
it's just, it's enticing, but it's also dangerous because you also have to allow for things that can go wrong. And
I was just going to say, too, that's not on the realtor, that's on the lender.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. But I mean,
Yeah.
as a realtor, I'm walking around with people, especially in that higher price point. And I'm always looking at maintenance. I mean, that's kind of my background was farm and estate management. So I'm always looking at what is the time frame, what does it cost to maintain these. So some of these larger homes that either two working parents are trying to purchase, I'm like, do you know how long it's going to take you to cut this grass, or do you see all these trees, or you see you've got wood siding. So I try to express to my clients the maintenance that's going to go into home ownership. You don't have a landlord that you can just call. And if you have the ability, the finances to hire all that out, then it's not an issue. But if not, you want to think about those things of bigger is not always better.
Mm-hmm. All right. So you're pre-approved. What next?
Yeah. All right. So next, you are going to meet with your real estate professional. So contact your realtor, and you're going to sit down, hopefully have a little meeting with them to go over your likes, your desires, your wants, your needs. You're going to sign what's called a buyer agreement. So a written buyer agreement that's going to go over the fiduciary duties that the realtor is going to have, be required to obviously give you, confidentiality, all the nitty gritty of that. It's going to go over obviously their, what they're going to, the fees that their firm is going to charge, and so you got to get all that written out. And that's actually a new law. It's standard practice for a lot of us for years. As of July 1, that's a new law. So all realtors in Virginia must have a buyer broker agreement with their buyers that spells everything out, including the compensation to that firm. So once you've kind of gone through that, you can start looking at homes. So you've got your wish list. I want to stay within this price point. I want to stay, looking at these two counties, looking at this size house. And then your realtor is going to come up with a short list of that. Hopefully they'll set you up on a portal so that those criteria will be kind of anything that comes on the market in that criteria will instantly get sent to you from your realtor. So then you can say, hey, thanks for the new listing you just sent me. Can we go out and see that? And then you can start looking at houses. That's the fun part.
Oh, and that is the fun part. Yeah, for sure.
Talk about when you're giving your realtor the criteria. Obviously it's important to list that. But it can be a little bit of maybe this isn't the right word, but a little bit of a trap. And I'm thinking of the house we're currently in. We're like, yeah, we want this and we want this and we want a 2-car garage. Yeah. And it turned out that the house we bought
had nothing of those.
It had no garage.
Okay.
So we happened to stumble on it on our own because our realtor wasn't necessarily looking for it because it had no garage. And it's like, we'd love a 2-car garage, but if we find the right place with all these other things, so that makes it really tough on the realtor. So you have to kind of, hey, we'd like this, but it's not it's not a must-have. Is that?
Absolutely. And obviously that is not a unique case. We have a lot of clients that are very particular and very specific. And then you get to know your clients and you see the reaction to certain houses and you're like, they say they want that garage, but when they go to a house, they're always looking at, the laundry room or the kitchen or whatever, and they really just kind of don't care about the garage. So hopefully, an in-tune agent is going to pick up on that and be able to share, hey, these are some other listings I know that doesn't have a garage, but it's got all these other things that, you and your partner rave about. So, but it is tricky sometimes.
Yeah, I can imagine.
Yeah. But it happens more than you think. I mean, I know for a lot of parents are like, I do not want a pool, and then the house they fall in love with has a pool. It's like, all right, well.
And then they end up loving it.
That's right.
Probably not filling it in at that point. So I know you said that things aren't as crazy where you're making an offer, as soon as you see the house. What is the process of making an offer?
So it's, our contract, unfortunately, is not one page anymore like some of the more veteran agents used to rave about. It's about 9 pages now.
Ooh, veteran. I like that one.
They appreciate that. But the process, so once you get the pre-approval, once you find the house, putting it in the offer, so the decisions you have to make, obviously, like price is the biggest one, but your agent has come up with a market analysis on that and has said, okay, this is the fair market value. Not necessarily what you have to offer. You can offer less or more or whatever, depending. But there's that decision. There's an earnest money deposit. So this is kind of putting your money where your mouth is. So that goes in with the contract, and that'll go towards the purchase of your home. You've got to set a closing date. That's usually 30 to 45 days, depending, because a lot of things happen in the background with that. And that's when you exchange, obviously, money for keys. And then making decisions on like what closing company you want to use or what lawyer you want to use, title company to kind of do all these things that have to happen in the background so that when you get the house that it is truly yours and there's a clean title and all the documents got filed and all the taxes got paid and everything. So a lot of behind the scenes stuff.
Mm-hmm. And you all work with them, with your home buyers, because it is like, well, I don't know any,
So obviously, we have ones that we work with that my clients in the past have really enjoyed working with, that, are very responsive, that, there's no delays. And if there's any problems, they kind of come up with solutions before expressing what the problem is, which I always love. So
one more for you.
Sure.
You said there were 950
roughly,
approximately,
yes.
realtors. That's a lot to choose from. Talk about the importance or how you choose a realtor that might be right for you, because some are more buyers, some are more on the seller side.
Yeah.
Is that you want to talk to a few different ones?
Yeah. So it's a lot, but having a realtor is a relationship. So, very few people are fortunate enough to find the first house, and live in it for 60 years. So it's going to be a lifelong relationship with that agent. And so you want somebody that you're comfortable with. You want somebody that obviously does a really good job. And so, a lot of people will go with recommendations from friends and family. They look at bios. So if somebody is particularly looking for, let's say, townhomes or whatnot, that agent is very familiar in the townhomes, townhome communities. So it's, and also just who do you like? Like who you want to spend time with? Who do you want to call on a Saturday at 10 o'clock at night, talking about like pricing and what are we going to do with this? It's just like any relationship. 950, there's a lot of really good agents, but obviously with 950, there's a lot of different personalities. So it's kind of who you're comfortable with. And interviewing agents is completely acceptable. Looking at reviews, talking to friends and family. So.
Yeah, it is important to find somebody you can work with really well, because you have a lot of questions. Like you said,
Absolutely.
It's a huge investment. So we are just about out of time, but one final question for you. What advice would you give to someone who's feeling overwhelmed or hesitant about jumping into today's market?
Yeah, I think the main thing is getting a good realtor. So we have a website, lynchburgvarealtors.com, that's going to have all those realtors on there. There's also reabovebeyond.com, which is something that our organization has put out as well. So it's full of consumer guides for buying and selling homes. Your different websites are going to have different guides and explain like the process. But a good realtor is going to take all that stress that you have and absorb it and process your questions and give it to you in simple answers and work around your schedule to hopefully, go out and see homes and make it as stress-free as possible.
Wonderful. It is stressful, but it's also fun. It's exciting.
Yes, the end result is amazing.
Yes, for sure. I'm sure you work with a lot of wonderful families, and it's fun to see it all turn over.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Wonderful. Well, thank you so much, Billy Morris with the Lynchburg Association of Realtors, and we hope to see you again.
Thank you so much.
We'll be
Appreciate
back
having
with
me.
more of the Home Show in just a moment.
We'll be right back. In the meantime, check out our latest issue of Home Magazine. Visit homemagazineva.com. Now back to the Home Show, presented by Piedmont Floor Show. Make yourself at home.
Welcome back to the Home Show. I'm Trish, publisher of Home Magazine, here with Rich and Ashley. And if you're just tuning in, you just missed a wonderful interview with Billy Morris, who is the president of the Lynchburg Association of Realtors. If you missed that, you can check us out on WLNI.com, and you can listen to that interview or any other shows that we have had on in the past.
Yeah, lots of good tips there with Billy, too.
Right,
So,
yeah.
If you're looking to buy or sell a home in the near future, check it out.
Right. And now we are joined in studio with Aine Aylward, who is an interior designer with Piedmont Floor Show, and she's here for an extended edition of Your Next Step. Welcome.
Hi, thank you for having me again.
So I saw on your social media post, just with it being the summer issue, you're an interior designer. What are some tips that you have on just kind of lightening and brightening your home for summer?
We are using lots of neutrals, lots of bright colors. We've even had a few ladies come in and are choosing pink tile.
Yes.
So that's been really popular lately, and it's really fun to see. Very bright and vibrant, not so gloomy like the grays we've been stuck in.
Right. What are some, I think, switching out some of your heavier rugs?
Yes.
Do you have a lot of great, just rug options?
We have a lot of indoor-outdoor rugs, which have been pretty popular lately. Good for on the porch or just an outdoor area to spend in the summer, hot summer weather.
Yes. Yeah, it has been warm.
Rugs outdoors, huh?
Yes. Yeah, it's
Why?
pretty popular.
Why?
Just to add a little bit of coziness, maybe on an outdoor patio, covered deck, something like that.
So more like aesthetically than actually functional.
It's practical too.
Is it?
If your deck is covered in splinters and you need something to soften it up a bit.
Fair point.
Yes.
I think too, it's just an outdoor room, I'm doing air quotes, an outdoor room, it's a perfect place for an outdoor rug because it
Yes.
just kind of pulls everything together and grounds your furniture and
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, Rich is raising his eyebrows I don't know if I'm buying that.
A lot of people do it.
Yeah.
Well, you guys are much more into the aesthetics and the beauty and all that
Yes.
stuff. And I'm just like, I need a place to sit.
Right. Got to tie it all together.
Yes. So talk a little bit about the in-house design consulting that you do.
Well, we have this handy-dandy checklist that we are following now to help organize us a little bit. So it starts with people just coming in, sometimes just, have an idea. They might want to change a few things, and it progresses into this big renovation.
So what are some of the questions you have? You have somebody
Yeah.
who comes in and wants to freshen up a space.
Yes.
What were some of those questions that you would ask?
A lot of the times it starts with people just wanting flooring. And then they notice our big kitchen that you see right when you walk in. They're like, you do cabinets? And then it leads into the conversation of, we are doing everything now. So it just starts with a conversation, getting their ideas, what they're into, their styles, and then scheduling a measure, and then we go from there.
Talking with Aine here from Piedmont Floor Show. And, like you said, you guys do much more than just floors now. So, as you're looking at this and you're kind of, going through the checklist, right? And, but there's a little bit of flexibility there.
yeah.
Like you were saying, like someone may come in wanting one thing and then it
Yes.
transitions to another. And you have the ability to help them with a whole bunch of different things.
Yes, we are here to guide them along their way, help them focus in on what they really want. Because a lot of people have an idea, but they walk in and they're pretty overwhelmed by all the selections. So we're really there to help them, give them a few ideas to pick from.
I know we talk about this, maybe, almost every time we have you guys in, but I think it's so important for folks. And, I was just talking before about how I can't really appreciate a lot of the aesthetic stuff, but for people who do, I would imagine it's important for them to really come in with ideas. Like
Yes.
if someone just walks in and is like, yeah, I have no idea what I'm going to do, that makes your job a lot more difficult.
Oh, it does.
Do you
but
get a lot of those though?
Yes, we get a lot.
You do?
Yes.
And
So
what-
we start just by showing them a few different things, and they go, oh, I love that, or no, I absolutely hate that. And that really helps from where to go from there.
And it's helpful. There are so many options out there, and it can really feel overwhelming.
Yes.
So working with a designer, I feel like it really helps kind of narrow things down.
Yes.
So, and I'm sure you feel that way as well. Like, are you able to kind of just gauge, if you have someone, like you're just putting together the different flooring options or maybe paint swatches.
Yes.
Is it's helpful for them and you to be able to visualize those
yeah.
things.
Yeah. And once we've made our selections, or if they've picked a few things, I am able to put it into a program that really allows them to see all of it together
Okay.
without going the next step and installing it and then them hating it.
So that's different than your visualizer that you have on your website.
Yes.
Okay.
That is just, It's by a lot of our vendors.
Okay.
And it just allows you to put one thing in there.
Okay.
Where what I'm using SketchUp, it allows me to really put every single thing that they pick in there so they can see it as a whole.
So does it give them kind of like what the room would look like?
Yeah, we can do like 2D drawings where it's just you're looking at an elevation, looking straight on, or we can do a 3D drawing where they can really like almost walk around the room.
Wow.
Yeah.
That is super helpful to a
Yes.
consumer.
Yeah.
What are some tips for people to get really good ideas? So they don't walk in and just like, I have no idea what I want.
Yeah.
I mean, I know it exists. I've never
Sure.
been there, but there's Pinterest. There's different places that people can go to get ideas. What are some that you recommend?
Pinterest is probably the easiest for most people to use. But another thing would be to go on Zillow or go onto Realtor.com and just look at houses that are for sale, maybe new builds, stuff like that, and see what people have in their homes. It's a great way to find out what you don't want, too.
Yeah. Or check out Home Magazine.
Yes, that too.
Oh, I have to plug us there a little bit. I wouldn't have thought to look at Zillow, but that's a really great idea.
Yeah.
So I think you can kind of, Pinterest is it can almost be like too perfect.
Yeah.
So just being able to see, I mean, it's trendy things, but yeah, that's a great tip.
And I would guess it's more time consuming, but maybe to go to some open houses or different things like that, just to, kind of get a feel for. And I'm imagining you would want to do that for places that have been recently renovated or newer houses,
Yes.
right? So you're not seeing old dated stuff.
Yeah.
But it's like, here's kind of what's new. And, and if you're not visiting a lot of people with new houses or whatever, you might not know what's going on.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've gone into many of our showcase homes and just taken pictures of things just because I'm like, wow, that is like so beautiful. And, now too with the Google Lens, if you have a picture of something, you can use that and it'll kind of give you something very similar.
Yes.
So do you find people using that a lot?
I've used that because sometimes people will bring their own sample in and we have no idea where it comes from. And
Right.
to take a picture of it and then search, that is so helpful.
Yeah. Is it pretty easy for you to, if somebody does come in with a photo or a link to Pinterest, is it easy for you to help them get that look that they're looking for?
Yeah, I find it pretty easy. I mean, as long as I know where things are in the showroom and I'm able to find it quickly, it's really fast.
Yeah.
Once again, talking with Aine Aylward here from Piedmont Floor Show. She's the design specialist as Piedmont Floor Show continues to grow and expand, and they're not just floors anymore. You touched on it a little bit, but you guys are doing really trying to become a one-stop shop for folks because, I can imagine that, you come in and your floor is this and, I need this or I need that, or, it feels like every time there's something new, it leads to something else. It's like, I got a new rug, so now I need a new couch and we need to paint the walls. I'm sitting there going, well, maybe we don't need the new rug. But that's not the case, right? I mean, but you guys can help on so many different levels.
Yes.
Talk a little bit about some of the new things you guys are doing at Piedmont Floor Show.
We're getting into quite a few different projects. We have about 3 or 4 going right now. So we've started a list of trying to track all of them, and they're all different colors, different styles. So it's really fun to see that.
When you say renovations, give us some specific examples, because I would imagine that would be a wide range of things that could be done.
Yeah, some renovations are so small that it's just flooring cabinets, where some we're knocking down walls and changing the space and the layout of the room. And sometimes it's a full house, all the bathrooms, the kitchen, everything. So there's just a wide variety. It could be, simple project to it's going to take months.
And you guys do all that now.
Yes.
Cool.
So you mentioned 3 to 4 different cabinet projects going on right now. Talk a little bit about the trends. Like, what are they like?
The sage green is very popular because it's one of the more natural earth tone colors. Lots of wood tones. That's mostly what we're doing.
That's interesting because it was, kind of white and gray for a little while, and now it's back to wood.
Very natural. Yep.
Okay, so next question. If someone painted their beautiful wood cabinets a paint color, can you ever go back? Or are you kind of stuck?
I don't think we recommend doing that.
Yeah.
I haven't had that question asked yet, but I'm sure you can, but I don't know why you would want to. They're very beautiful as is.
Yeah. Yeah, we have wood cabinets, and I've
Why
thought
you would
about.
you don't know why you would want to do what? Why you would want to paint them?
Yeah, our cabinets, if someone purchased from us because they're already pre-stained or, have the natural finish. So
Yeah, I guess I'm thinking more older homes. You know,
Mm-hmm.
like if you have a home and you don't care for the color of wood, it's
Right.
not easy to switch out the color of wood, but it's easy to add paint.
yes.
But now, I mean, you really are seeing more wood tones
Mm-hmm.
in cabinets, and I was just wondering if people like, gosh, I really regret painting my cabinets, and it's
Yeah.
expensive to put new cabinets in. You know, if you are looking to renovate, but I mean, that's probably if you want a different wood tone, you really
Yeah.
can't change the color of your existing wood.
Not really,
Yeah,
no, without
yeah.
stripping it and restaining it, which is very time consuming.
So many options.
Yes.
And it sounds like Piedmont Floor Show can help you, and Anya can help you with a lot of those options. What's the first step? We always talk about, take your next step with Piedmont Floor Show. What's the first step for someone who wants to, begin a project in their
Yeah.
home?
Well, sometimes it begins with just a phone call and people asking, "Hey, can you send someone out here to look at my space, to measure it, give me a budget?" So that's where it starts often. Or like I said earlier, it's just someone who comes in off the street and is, I'm just, browsing, looking for floors. Oh, you do this too? And then it rolls into, okay, well, let's set up an appointment to meet with you
And
at their home.
if someone does call and say, "Hey, would you come out? I don't know what I want to do, but
Yeah.
I think I'm ready for something or at least some ideas."
Yeah.
Is there a charge for the initial consultation or?
There is not.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, we do charge $35 for just a typical measurement, so that may be applied, but just to get ideas, no. It's if they go further and they decide they really want to do that, then we take a deposit.
Is that, I would think, would be a really fun part of your job, is just being able to go into these homes and just
Yes.
kind of help them visualize and kind of create a wonderful new space for
Yes,
them.
That is my favorite part.
Uh-huh.
Yeah,
I bet.
yeah.
Have you ever run into the scenario yet where you go into a place and you and the homeowner just don't see eye to eye, and they have no clue what looks good and how difficult that situation could be?
I haven't had that with the renovations yet, but I've had that a few times with just people looking for flooring. But you kind of have to just, the customer's right and go, they need to sign their quote and it's their choice.
You give them what they want, right?
Yeah,
I mean, they're
yeah.
the ones paying the bill.
Yes.
But you're there to kind of guide them. And
Yeah.
so what are some of the nice ways that you tell them that their choices are ugly?
Well, I say it works. I mean, I wouldn't choose that, or I just go along with it.
Okay.
Yeah.
She has to be careful.
I
She
know.
doesn't want to like.
Yeah. Oh, that's hideous. Yeah. They won't come
Right.
back.
I told her before I was coming with some tough questions.
Mm-hmm.
I warned her.
Yeah. Yeah, that would kind of be hard because you're like, like you want them to make the right choice, but in the end, I guess it's the right choice for them. So
Yeah.
and you're helping them get
Yeah.
to that point. So
Yeah, I mean, bottom line is,
Yeah.
right, if someone's paying for it and they want it, you give it to them,
right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just
whether
sign-
it's ugly or not.
Yeah, they just need to sign so we're not liable if they hate it later.
Wonderful. Well, how can people learn more about Piedmont Floor Show?
A great way is to follow our social media. We try to update it as much as we can. Or the other way is just to go to our website and hit contact and give us a call.
Wonderful. And you guys are good about posting kind of new projects that you've
Yes.
had. And
We try to.
Yeah. Yeah. I know it's a lot. Social media is just one more
Yes.
extension.
Yes,
so
it is.
yeah. Aine Aylward with Piedmont Floor Show. Thanks so much for coming in this morning.
Thank you.
We'll be back after a quick break.
It's time to get our house in order. We'll be right back. You're listening to The Home Show on WLNI, presented by Piedmont Floor Show. Now available anywhere you listen to podcasts.
Welcome back to The Home Show. If you missed any part of our show so far, you can tune in if you're listening on Saturday. You can tune in Sunday at noon, or you can go to WLNI.com and find our podcast. And that's with any of our shows during the week or on the weekends. You can always go back and catch previous shows. So please do that at WLNI.com. We're also on social media at HomeMagazineVA.com. So you can check us out there. And if you have any, story ideas for us or any comments on the show, tell us what you love about the show.
Or maybe you know somebody who's got a showcase home. I know you guys are always looking for those. Who's got a really cool home, and it doesn't have to be, the biggest, most beautiful, expensive thing. It's just, because you've said that a number of times.
Right.
Does it have a cool story or a cool room or, something that might inspire other people?
That's right.
Did I get all that right?
You did. I'm impressed. You listened.
I am too. Say little projects. We've had people reach out with, here's pictures of my renovated basement. That can spawn story ideas. Maybe if people send us suggestions, we could throw a little something their way.
That's right. I've heard Jersey Mike's. My Jersey Mike's gift card might be.
And who doesn't like Jersey Mike's? What's your number?
Right. Yeah, and we're actually looking for a holiday winter home for 2026. So if you have a beautiful home that's really beautifully decorated for the holidays, I'd love to see some photos. So
I don't know my number.
You don't know your number?
I don't know my number.
You know what? That's that warm one though, right? The warm sub.
I'm on to a new one, so I don't remember the number, but it's really good. It's the.
he's
Sorry, Scott's gonna kill me, but it's delicious.
Scott, mine's a number 7.
Mine's
Mike's
number-
Way,
yep.
no oil and vinegar.
Okay.
Yeah.
Number 8, Mike's Way, all the way.
Mm-hmm. How did we get on a Jersey Mike's tangent?
You brought it up.
I did.
Because I think we're
brought it up.
hungry. I'm hungry.
did.
That's what happened.
Hey, we're running out of time. Thank our guests.
Oh, okay. We just want to once again thank Billy Morris with the Lynchburg Association of Realtors and Aine Aylward with Piedmont Floor Show. The home show is sponsored by the Piedmont.
Try it again, Trish. You were doing so well.
I know. We just once again want to thank Billy Morris with the Lynchburg Association of Realtors and Aine Aylward with Piedmont Floor Show. The home show is presented by Piedmont Floor Show. Take your next step with them online at PiedmontFloorShow.com, on Facebook at Piedmont Floor Show, or drop by their showroom on Timberlake Road and tune in for your next step each week on the home show. Next week, we are going to be joined by Caleb and Joe with Fortress Foundation Solutions. We'll share some tips on repairing and maintaining your driveway, and we'll take a closer look at the summer issue of Home Magazine.
Live radio, she's not perfect.
I am not.
She's
As
doing
much as I
great.
try. I try to.
It's a lot. Some of us don't have,
Don't defend her.
5+ years of radio in our background.
Yes, and I will say I'm the publisher of Home Magazine. I'm not a radio girl. So anyway, I do my best. I
Good
try.
job,
I try
Trish.
for you all. Have a wonderful weekend, everyone, and we will see you next week.